Hi guys, so welcome to this channel. This time with DK Swami. So in today's episode, in today's lecture, we are going to talk about how do we revise any of the subject, whether it is science or whether it is mathematics or physics, chemistry, irrespective of the subject, how you are gonna revise that subject because now the board exams are starting, and then you also have the JE and your NEET examination coming up. So how do we revise? How do we get perfect in a subject? And how do we take out 100% of our understanding of that subject during the exam? And during this time period, how do we do everything? So that is the topic of discussion of this video. And it is going to be a short and concise video. I do not want to spend much time and I do not want to waste your time in that. So let me go directly to the point. So like when you revise, so first of all, the thing is the question would be, what should I do? I have completed every. First thing is, look, do not go on to the multiple things. Right now you have your notes. If you do not have your notes, so then you have your reference book. So then be up to that. Just one book would be sufficient, or one or two book would be sufficient if you are just doing the theory from the books. Or otherwise, if your notes are there, then you must have put everything in the notes. So then just do the revision from the notes, because that is going to create a photographic memory in your head, and whenever you will require that formula in the exam, so then at that time instantly that picture of the kind of like image of that page will come in your mind. That is one thing. That is why I say that whenever you do the revision from one source only. Whatever you are doing till now, do the revision from that. But still, if you feel that the theory of that source is not sufficient, you require more theory, then of course you can go on others and you can explore the other sources, but it would be the best advice that you just revise the one topic. Now coming on to the other second part, that how do we exactly revise. So like for example, I have done the revision of this let's suppose electrostatics, or let's suppose there is any topic in the mathematics or the chemistry, or otherwise 11th topic, let's suppose you have done the revision of the rotational motion. So then what to do after that? So I would suggest that you do the kind of like 10 questions or 10-15 questions. It is up to you. You make a plan according to you, right? And then you see how much time is remaining. Let's suppose it is a JE exam, so it is going to be in the April month, or otherwise if it is NEET exam, so it is going to be in the May month. So like this, I have the time for that, so I can accordingly have a time period. Like I can give maybe let's suppose for a chapter, for a mediocre chapter, I can give let's suppose 30 hours. So in the 30 hour you are going to revise for the 5 or 6 hours, and then our rest of that you are going to do the mock examination and the questions. So I would suggest in that case you could do the 15 hours questions, okay, and then again the mock examination, and then remaining time you would be giving for the again revision, right? So I would suggest that 10-15 questions would be sufficient for a chapter. Like they are kind of required at least 10-15 questions, not is sufficient. Of course you can do more questions on that, but second part is that do list 10-15 questions. What happens with most of the students, that they will just revise, they will just read the theory and it will become very boring. And once if anything becomes very boring, then we would not get that in our heads, and then we would feel that this chapter or this subject itself is very tough, okay? So that is why, to make it interesting, to make it sink in our head, we should do at least some questions on that, whether it is a theoretical question or whether it is a numerical type of question, both of the combination or the kind of questions which will be appearing in the exam, you should be doing that. Okay, so this is second. Now third advice is that you should be having a conceptual clarity. Like for example, I say that according to the work energy theorem, work done by internal forces is equal to change in kinetic energy. What about the external forces? I do not know about them. So then there is a conceptual misunderstanding in them. Or otherwise I just say that work done by forces, negative work done by the forces is equals to change in potential energy. Now I do not have a conceptual clarity that whether it is a conservative force or a non-conservative force. So if there is a conceptual misunderstanding in the topic, like it can be a misunderstanding as well. One thing is that you do not know the topic. Another thing is that you have misunderstood that. Many times it happens, especially in the work energy part and these kind of chapters, where you have got something, you have read somewhere something, and the similar thing is also there in the other book, but it is written in the other words, and then you get a misunderstanding through that, and then you get your own idea, and then you apply, you get 4-5 questions, but that is not being applied everywhere. So that is the kind of conceptual misunderstanding, or you can say conceptual hallucination you are getting in that. So then I would suggest that you should read the theory for that particular topic. You find out that kind of topic where you are facing the conceptual misunderstanding. This is very important. Like for example, if I take any of the chapter, there would be 10-15 topic in that chapter, main 10-15 topic in that chapter. So I would suggest that you take out in the 10-15 topic, you scan each of the topic and find out which topic is that topic where you have the conceptual misunderstanding. Likewise, you can also find out some topic where you require practice. Okay, all right. So this is about that. So how do you clarify the conceptual clarity, or how you make the conceptual clarity is by reading the theory. That is from a standard book. You just read the theory and you grasp the theory. You have some examples set for that theory. Okay, like for example, if I say conservation of mechanical energy, so if I have the example, like if a ball is dropping, so then how this potential energy is changing into the kinetic energy. Likewise, you should have each one standard example for one kind of law or one kind of principle that would help you in the conceptual clarity. Okay, now let's come to the fourth point. Now what do we do? How again we grasp everything, we have a clarity in each of the thing in the chapter, and how do we ultimately prepare for the exam is that through the multiple revisions. Okay, like you have done the one time revision, that is not sufficient, it's not going to be sufficient. So then you do the revision again, and then again how do you revise? It's just read the theory. Now it will require lesser time, and then you do the questions again. That is my suggestion. Okay, so you do 4-5 times revision and then try to memorize some of the things. Look, some of the things memorizing is not bad. Okay, but you should also have the understanding behind that. Just memorizing is not going to help you in the ultimately. It can help you in the exams, it may clarify some, you can do some questions, but ultimately that is not going to make you a great person, or like you will understand the physics or you will understand the science through that. You should be, ultimately the idea is that through the multiple revisions you can of course memorize some of the things that will help you, that will make you fast compared to the other students, but you should also be having the idea behind them. You should not be having a totally misunderstanding, you should not be having any kind of misunderstanding behind that, right? So this is my fourth suggestion. And fifth and very important suggestion would be that you must be giving the mock examination. What happens sometimes, like we really face a struggle while we give the exam, because we would be getting, like in mock examination we would be getting 30-40% or maybe 50%, 70%, whatever. But really what happens is we look how much we are like we are not able to do, we focus on that, and because of that we get demotivated, and because of that we will never give the exam. And we will always think that I'm not prepared for the exam. And if you think like that, then you are not you will not be giving, and ultimately you will not be preparing. And ultimately in the final exam also you will be doing the same thing. You will be getting that 30-40% itself. Right? So my suggestion would be that you try to give as many as possible mock examination. It is up to your time limit, how much time limit you have, how much time limit you have set, but give the mock examination. Don't have a fear of the mock examination. They are reflecting your understanding, right? They are reflecting what you have understood. So face the reality, don't run away from it. Okay, so this is my last suggestion. So I hope whatever the examination you are preparing, you would do your best in that. And still, if you need more suggestion, if you need more this kind of video on these kind of thing, like how should I prepare, what should be attitude and everything, so you can of course comment in the videos. I would be happy to answer them, and maybe I will make the video on them. And if you need further like videos, or you want to learn something related to the JE physics or the NEET physics, so there are the videos available on this channel, and you can also share with your friends. Thank you very